Alright, hello. In this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to actually use the custom Halo script, which allows us to do essentially Halo drops and static line drops while being on the inside of a plane instead of just kind of flying in on a model and kind of just jumping out. I'll show you what that means here in a second, but first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put our backpack on our chest, and we're going to grab the parachute type that we need. So for right now, we're going to be doing a Halo drop. We're going to go ahead and grab a steerable parachute. Now that we've got that, we're going to go ahead and set up our jump. So these tables, if you look at the slide before this, it will show you how to actually install this composition, which does all of the scripting work for us. So we're going to look at the computer, and two things to note: you need to make sure you do these options in order. So if you were to choose slot 2, whatever, that can sometimes break the script and cause issues such as you spawning in at the corner of the map rather than where you want to go. And make sure above all else you do not say give player parachute. If you do that, essentially when you land on the ground, it's going to essentially spawn your entire kit back to like a vanilla kit, which kind of defeats the whole purpose, right, of doing the jump in the first place. We don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead, select the drop zone. We're going to do Molas Airfield. I've done that. I'm going to select my altitude from a jump, so I want to go extra spicy, extra high, 10,000 meters. I'm going to do 1 minute of flight time, and that's for when we actually get into the bird. So the bird will spawn in right now after I've done those things, but it's when players actually join in that bird. It'll have 60 seconds to when it's doing the red light, green light. And I can board right then if I want to. Some extra options for vehicles. So let's say I want to bring in Humvee with a M2, and let's say I want to also bring in let's do Zodiac. I'll do scroll option, do both of those, and then you're good to go. You can reset it if you want to, but we don't need to do that. Now that we're good to go, everyone knows the drop zone we're going to, whatever. Let's go and press board plane. It'll take a second to actually spawn us in there. And you'll see that we are now in there. Now if the audio is too loud, make sure you turn your audio down, configure effects. And we can see we got in here. The back is already going for red light, so it's opening up the back there. These vehicles, you have to drop them yourselves through the scroll wheel option. And only the person who sets up the jump can do that. So when we get in here, you're going to have your jump master starting to open up the doors. He needs to do that. She needs to do that. You see we have green light. Sometimes running back and forth in the plane will cause you to do that. So be wary of that. It's kind of an issue. But now that we're here at green light, we're going to release the vehicles. So drop vehicle 1, drop vehicle 2. Now if that's done, you'd have your players lined up, and you just tell them like, hey, 1 go. 1, if you have 2 lines, they can jump out the side doors or back, and you jump. You see those vehicles flying down there. Those will actually pull out a parachute once they get close to the ground, and they'll start floating. That obviously can be an issue because it can drift. At nighttime, though, it should give you a little IR strobe on it. It makes it a little bit easier to find, but during daytime, you're just going to have to find it wherever it drifts off to. Key thing to note, make sure you're also checking your C-tab when you get on the plane. The plane is not where you want it to be. That's a severe issue. And you need to let the Zeus know immediately so you can either not drop, in a place you don't want to drop, or restart the jump through teleportation. Right now we're just flying around, jump, and this is where you want to maneuver in the air, get away, get some space for yourself. Remember that the jumper below you always has the right of way, which is going to be even more key if you're using this method because you don't have any horizontal speed for drift. Which means everyone goes typically straight down unless there's wind, which can create a lot of issues with players colliding if you're not managing that correctly. Drifting around. still at about 5,000 meters in elevation. And we're just going to keep going down. So bear with me here. You can see we start to see the airfield in the ground below us. Start doing your terrain association where you need to be. Same thing with those vehicles. Early, whatever you have to do for whatever's been set, you can do that. Um, Wherever the vehicles are, they've severely drifted, which is an issue if you're doing super high altitude jumps like that. They can drift literally into the ocean. That's something that a Zeus might have to control. Uh, Also note you can't load your vehicle, so if you want to have custom stuff like that, you as a Zeus could simply do that drop with the two vehicles just to make it more immersive, then delete those two, and then just copy and paste whatever the vehicles are they already preloaded onto the ground form somewhere. That can definitely be done if you have higher jumps where they can't really see the vehicles jumping. They don't know that, so it keeps it in immersion. And we're on the ground. Your kit deletes, which it should not, and if you've done everything correctly, it should be like this. It should be fine. It does delete. That's obviously a use issue, and that concludes the tutorial with this usage.